I'm gonna risk losing your like for this next statement, but what the hell? Here it goes anyway. Business, successful business, is not about getting rich. Alex Hormozi, God bless him, he's brilliant at strategy. I love learning sales from him. It's his zone of genius. But I'm very concerned that his message is gonna produce more and more really rich people that live miserable existences. I coach successful company founders every single day. I'm incredibly humbled by my position because in our conversations, they tell me about their deepest and darkest fears, regrets, and feelings. And this next statement might blow your mind. There is zero causation or correlation between the money that they make and the amount of fulfillment in life they experience. So my question to you as a budding entrepreneur, as somebody coming up and experiencing some success, what do you want? What do you want to experience in life? The rich and miserable still get recognized. The rich and miserable, they get idolized. They get attention. The rich and miserable get really nice things. The rich and miserable still take really extravagant vacations. And yet, they're still miserable. What is it that you want? Money and misery? Don't worry, you'll have plenty of dollar bills to wipe your tears. But there are a few other options. There's a couple of other ways to live. How about getting lots of money and connection? What about lots of money and a life you love? What about making tons of money and a meaningful impact on other people and the world? If that sounds like the kind of life that you want, keep watching this video because I'm gonna tell you exactly how to create it. But if you're great with being rich and miserable, just push stop on this video right now, go find the next video that will tell you how to get rich. Now that I know who I'm talking to, that you're somebody who's committed to not only being rich, but living a really meaningful and fulfilled life, let me ask you this question. How much weight do you carry around when it comes to money? How heavy is it? How much do you think about the money that you want to make or the wealth you want to build or how you want to be seen by others? So here's the good news. We're gonna lift that weight. You see, it's crazy because money is a paradox. In fact, the less and less we think about it, typically the more and more we'll make of it. So I'm gonna tell you how to avoid the rich and miserable trap and live wealthy and fulfilled. But first, to illustrate my point, a story about a man that reinvented the egg. A guy by the name of Matt O'Hare. He's a serial entrepreneur from carpet cleaning companies to chartering sailboats. He estimates that in his life, he has started over 50 different companies. Some of them mediocre at best, others complete failures at worst. Then Matt, at 68 years old, realized that there was a prevalent injustice that was happening around him, and he decided to do something about it. This was something he was passionate about, something that he knew he could really make a difference in the world with. Eggs. He saw two problems that he wanted to solve. The first one was the inhumane treatment of chickens in the harvesting of their eggs. And the second one was the race to the bottom in the egg business. Everybody wanted to be the cheapest on the shelf at the expense of the humane treatment of chickens and the nutrition of their eggs. So he started his own farm with just 20 chickens outside of Austin, Texas, with the idea that he was gonna prove two things to be true. One, that you could raise healthy chickens producing healthy eggs, and number two, that you could show other farmers around the country how to do the same. This was the humble beginnings of Vital Farms. Matt absolutely revolutionized the egg industry. He proved that people would be willing to pay more for eggs that were harvested in a humane way from healthy chickens. He also proved that he could engage farmers across the country to do exactly the same. After 16 years of being in business, Vital Farms is valued at $460 million. But most importantly, Matt created a company and a movement that he is absolutely passionate about. Matt himself reports that when I stopped trying to get rich is when I found true success. So let me ask you this. What makes the difference for Matt and other company founders who truly live fulfilled lives, regardless of the amount of money that they make? In order to answer that question, We have to talk about the principle that I believe will make all the difference in your life, that will make the difference between living rich and miserable or rich and fulfilled. The idea is called the hierarchy of concerns. The idea simply states this, that we have a stack of concerns or reasons that we make the decisions we make in our lives. We're not unilateral decision makers, meaning we don't just make our decisions based off of one or two factors. There are a series of factors that influence how we make our decisions. So think of it this way. You may have 10, 15 reasons or things that you're considering when making this decision. And in your mind, you're stacking those. The most important ones, the ones that hold the most weight, sitting at the top. And as they descend down, they hold less and less weight in the decision that you're making. All these things are still influencing what you buy, what you say, who you spend your time with. Think of this as a stack of reasons why you do what you do, putting the most important ones at the top and the least important ones at the bottom. So let me ask you, based on the results that you have in your life, the things that you find yourself thinking and worrying about the most, what's on the top of your stack? What I found after thousands of hours in conversation and vulnerable conversation with other company founders is that those who are rich and miserable put money, attention, and status at the top of their priorities, at the top of their stack of concerns. Those are the things that have most influence in their decision making. Here's the tricky part though, is that when money, attention, and status are at the top of your hierarchy of concerns, when you actually get them, when you're successful in it, it's the most lonely experience. The reason being is because we evolutionarily were hardwired for connection with other humans and living beings. And we just don't experience connection with money, with mass attention, or status. And when we try to use those things for connection, it's the loneliest experience. And loneliness is death. We don't have to look very far to find this truth. I mean, just look at some of the most rich and famous among us. They're lonely, miserable, using drugs and alcohol, sex, and other vices to cover their pain. What they thought would bring them the best experience in this life has actually left them the most lonely. But in contrast, when the ideas at the top of our hierarchy of concerns are things like connection and service and the betterment of humankind, those are the things that we're focusing on. We'll create connection in our lives. We will make other humans better. And so that's the thing that we'll be focused on. That's the thing that we will experience. And the money will take care of itself because we're going to be out there creating value for other human beings. That's why I say we'll be thinking about the money less and less, and we'll make more and more. But in making more and more, we'll be experiencing connection. Don't get me wrong, the money is still important and it should influence your decision making, but it needs to be in its proper place in order for you to feel fulfilled in life. So here's what you need to do in order to experience true success, both riches and fulfillment. First, get connected to the current reality of your hierarchy of concerns so that you understand where you're at. Notice what it is that you think most about, what you worry most about. That gives you your current hierarchy of concerns. Write that down. Now we're going to make an aim or a goal or a vision for our hierarchy concerns. Take all of those things that you wrote down in their order and now put them in the order that you want them to be in. Get very clear about the hierarchy of concerns that you want. When you notice yourself going back into the old way of thinking, the old hierarchy of concerns, if it had money and attention and fame at the top, think to yourself, what is it that I need to do today in order to get back into my new hierarchy of concerns? What decisions do I need to make? What decisions would be in line with this that I want to rule or govern my decision making? Once you start making decisions based off of the new hierarchy of concerns, you're probably going to start reevaluating the way you spend your time. Watch this video I did about how work-life balance is a lie. Peace.